Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Ninda Gusnandar with students number 2321220, and I am fourth semester student from the English Education Department. And this video is one part of my final project assessment in the critical discourse analysis course. So here I would like to share what I have learned from this course, how I can implement the material I have gotten so far into my life from this course, and how this course can help me grow as a critical thinker and future teachers. In this semester, through the study of critical discourse analysis, I discovered that language has a dual role, the first as a means of communication and as instrument of power. So text analysis showed that there are hidden meanings that represent certain ideological interests. So it is important to develop critical reading skill. And then in the learning process so far, one of the learning experiences that I like the most is when in the class there is an activity to review some article, and then I also find myself very interested in root product approach. I admire how consistently and especially she discussed gender issues in her research. Her approach really opened my eyes and my mind, especially me as a woman, because it shows a role of language in the construction of gender narratives, as well as long language can be used to reinforce or challenge exciting gender stereotype. But I also still realize that understanding what a work in depth require a deeper understanding and carefully analysis. It wasn't something I could see at a glance immediately understand. However, it opened up a new perspective for me that in the analysis of new article using Van Leeuwen framework, and I work with my group for the final project. We work together to identify a strategy of inclusions, exclusions, activation, and participation in a text. So this collaborative process allows us to enhance ideas and opinions. So support each others when understanding difficult concept and build analysis together. So this making theories more concrete and meaningful. The teaching materials provide are also very helpful to me during the learning process because they are very clear so I can understand the concept better, especially because the example and structure provided in the class made the material easier to grasp and easier to understand. I can learn to analyze academic article more carefully and confidently in interpreting a text and applying critical thinking. So in previous semester when I had not studied this course, I read text just to understand and read the surface content only. So I never realized and questioned how a text can shaping an opinion or who is features in it. But after I learned CDA, I became aware that behind a text there are power structure and ideological play at play. From there, I started reading carefully and critically asking who is not shown here or who is not being expressed. From there, I began to realize that every text can carry ideology, shape power, even limit the expressions of certain group which indirectly also carry ideology. One of the problem I have experienced in my learning process so far in finding literatures and sometimes feel confused about where to start and what sources to use. It also takes me longer to understand and critically analyze article. However, I slowly learned to overcome this by increasing my literacy and reading, analysis, and critical thinking skill have improved so that I am more confident when identifying hiding meanings in text and applying more in-depth analytical theories when I reading something. And inspiring English education, I would advise students to apply the principle of CDA starting from things that are familiar to their daily lives, such as advertisement, news headings, and relevant issues on social media. So in this way, students can learn to recognize who is featured and who is not, as well as understand hiding message about power and ideology. It is also important to encourage students to express their own opinion and interpretation. So exercising critical awareness about the role of language and reflecting and reinforcing power will help students become a wiser and more independent user of language. By teaching this critical attitude, students can develop their own personal style of expression and learn not to take text gradient without analyzing their veracity. In conclusion, I realized that language has great power in our life. Language is not just about a tool for ordinary communications, but also means that has meaning, power, and certain point of view. Through my learning experience in the CDA course, I learned to see how language can affect the way we see the world. In addition, I understand that originally in our academic work does not have to perfect, but the important thing we must understand that originality in our academic work does not have to be perfect, but ability to think and be honest in developing ideas in the work. After this, I hope to continue apply this mindset both in my role as a student and educator in the future. Thank you so much. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.